So if you would like to have several operating systems on your USB drive, the best choice, one of the best choices is to go and to download from this amazing site pendrivelinux.com, where you could find out many very nice software organized especially for booting from USB. And YUMI, the multi-boot USB creator, indeed is what it says. Now, there are many other tools you might create multi-boot USBs. Some of them are working specifically with Linux. This particular one is working with Windows, and it's a portable one. And actually it has 3 versions of it. So let's go and see them. If we go a little bit below, they have a good explanation and screenshots here. So I'm gonna send the link and you could go and check it after that. So you have one for exFAT, which actually support the exFAT format. And as you know, the exFAT has been created as a counterpart of FAT32, or the file allocation table 32 file system, which not supporting 4 GB files bigger than 4 GB. Well, if we would like our USB not to be used only for multi-bootable USB, so we to boot and start or install operating system from it, but also to be able to store our files. So some of the USBs are pretty large. You could find out up to 1 terabyte today, actually. So you might use exFAT in that case because some of your files might be bigger than 4 GB limitation. So that might be a good candidate if you would like to install it. The other one, which is boot4, is, as you see, it supports the legacy BIOS and the extended firmware interface boots. Right, which today most of the machines actually are working with the BIOS, as they call it, not the legacy BIOS as it was before. So that's one of the options. Another one, which is not very good, I could say, because it is working with NTFS. FAT32 still good, but once again, if you need FAT32, as a matter of fact, is the standard and de facto is the standard for bootable USBs. But once again, if you would like to add some files to store only files also aside to the bootable operating system, and these files are bigger than 4 GB, it won't work. The other option, obviously, an NTFS, which, new technology file system is working with Windows. And that's one of the limitations. And the other one is not all the bootable. Well, the guys from YUMI, they work very hard this to work with most of the distribution, which are actually you could make bootable, but some of them might not work. So once again, comparing this one and that one, I would always actually choose exFAT. And UEFI will support any extended. It says BIOS and UEFI use booting, but once again, as you see, they say it's very distro dependent. I think they're supposed to put here as well this one. And as you see, it's working only with the file allocation. It supports only the file allocation 32-bit, which again gives you a limitation. So in my case, I'm gonna go and download the exFAT. As a matter of fact, I did it already. It's here in my downloads folder. Here it is. And if I go downloads, I will see it. So as you see, if I would like to start the one, that would be this one, exFAT, where it says. It's very easy. Well, one condition is you need to have administrative rights on the computer, or at least you need to have rights to execute files and to install. So I'm going to click on that. I'll accept the user account control. And here it is. It started, and that's basically how it starts. It's a portable version. If you say, you could put it on your USB and you could use it even from the same USB which you're gonna do bootable. So I'm gonna say I agree. I already have one USB there, which I combined and I created as exFAT. But let me show you actually how it works. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna destroy this USB. This is the USB which I have, YUMI. I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna format it, and I will choose to format it as an NTFS. Right. So let's actually close this one for now, and I'm gonna say this one NTFS. Quick format, I'll say quick format, here it is, and it will be done very fast. So now it is an NTFS file system on this USB, and you could always go and basically right click, say properties, and you could be sure it's an NTFS, it shows it. So let's try YUMI again. Well, as I said, I could basically right click and copy this one and go indeed and put it here. So I could put it on my USB drive, here it is, and I could start it now from the USB drive. I could say open, it will ask me, well, it's not a good idea to start it from here because it will ask me actually to delete it, so I will put it after. So I'll delete it for now, I'll go back to my downloads folder and I'll start from here. Say yes, and now it will say I agree, here it is. And basically it might ask, you see I'm gonna choose it, and now it says that the disk is NTFS file system, and it's not prepared for the YUMI because once again the YUMI uses exFAT. So it's asking you, do you want to prepare and format it? And in my case I need to say yes, that's what I want. So here it is, I'm gonna say that to be prepared in exFAT. It says, it's giving you warning what will happen and you're going to lose everything. I don't care about this. That's my test USB, so I could wipe it out as many times as I want. And here it is. It will be done. And of course, if I come here again and right-click now and do properties, I'll see the file system now is exFAT, right? So what I could do, it shows me that actually everything has been done successfully. And what I could do here, I already have in my downloads folder several ISOs downloaded. I have Ubuntu there, so I could click on Ubuntu, I could choose it, and you see there are a couple of ways actually to go and do something with it. So I could click download folder, and I could open in a browser. It might bring me exactly to it might actually start the download even. Here it is. I think it's doing it at the moment. No, that's something else which is downloading. But nevertheless, it might start, or it might lead you, and basically you could go and download the ISO image from there. And the other one, because I'm gonna actually minimize this, and I'll leave to continue. And basically, the other one is just to click on this and to visit the site. And here it is. Now I could actually download it right away. And that would be the newest version, I guess. And what else I could do here? Well, we'll see after installing it. So I'm going to go say browse. And I'm going to go wherever my image is. It's supposed to be in downloads folder and images. And it's supposed to be here, but you see I don't see the ISO file. And basically, the reason for that, there might be several reasons. One of them most probably will be that's a different edition of the file. It maybe expects when I click, when it is designed, maybe expects the latest version to be, but I have a little bit older. But might be also the extension. There will be several different reasons for not showing the file. But there is no problem for that. You come here, say show all ISOs, say browse, and now you're going to see all the ISO files you have here. And fair enough, I have, and sure enough, I have Ubuntu, and that's the reason why I don't see it. It's a live server, as you see. It's a server edition. So what I could say open it. And now that's an interesting choice here. You might actually click, and you could set a part of your USB drive as a persistent file system. You know, when you create the bootable disk, one of the ways when you boot it, you could use it to install the operating system from it, but you could just use it as a live system. That's with all the Linux distribution actually is persistent option. And instead of using this for most of the time when you're using it like that, basically when you reboot, you will lose everything what you've been doing, everything what you downloaded, maybe some documents, maybe some setups you did, everything will be lost because it's a read-only. Well, with this option, actually, you might open up to 4 GB in that case, and you might save what you've been doing, if it's, of course, in the limits here, right? And it will be saved for the next live reboot. So it's very useful option. Say create, and I'm going to wait until it is created. It would be not very, maybe 2 minutes, because the disk is, the ISO image is indeed not very big. Now it's creating this persistent file which I set there up to 4 GB. So let's see what we've been able to achieve. It has been downloaded. It says finish process is complete. Say next. It's asking me if I want to add some more. Well, why not? We'll try. It will represent me with the same interface. Actually, I could go view and remove installed, and it says now you're in an installer mode, and as you see, the button has been changed to remove. So what I could do, I could choose it again, and if I click now on the distro to remove, I could see the distro which I just installed. If I click on it, actually I could remove it. And this is the way if you have several distributions here and you don't need some of them anymore, you might actually go and remove it. So let's try to add another one. I'm gonna go, let me see if this one has been finished. Yeah, it has been finished. The Fossa Pup, it's a Puppy distribution, very nice one. I just downloaded. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna choose here from Puppy. I'm gonna choose Puppy Linux. I'm gonna go browse. Gonna go to my downloads, and you see it still doesn't show it. Well, it's okay. I'll say show all ISOs. I'll say browse. And now I'm gonna found that it, well, most probably it is not as an ISO file. Let's go and check it out in the downloads folder. Here it is. It's an ISO file, but it's not in downloads folder. That's the reason. Okay, so let's go to the folder where it is. It's in the downloads. It's not in the images. It's in the downloads folder. So let's see if without show all files, we'll click again, and we go downloads, and here it is. We find that out right away. If there are other files, actually it will be shown. Let me demonstrate how it works. That might be interesting. So let's move it to all the other files. So in downloads, I'm gonna cut it, and I'm gonna put it in my images where all of my ISO files. You see there are many ISO files here, and I'm gonna add this one also here. Here it is. So Fossa, here it is. It is also added to all of the other ISO files. So all of these are ISO files, as you could see. So let's try to see if I go now browse, and if I go to images, now you see I'm going to see only the ISO file. When it's not check the show all ISOs, it will show me only the relevant one, which is pretty cool. I'm going to say open, and here it is, and the same way I'm going to click create, and now it will add it to the other distribution. This distribution is kind of small, so it might actually start it would be done very fast actually. As you see, it's less than 20 seconds, I would say. Say next. Just to double check, I could click here and I could see on the YUMI, I could say view and remove, and now you're gonna see I have two distributions. So let's see. By the way, I would leave to you guys to choose here what you could download. You see there are a lot of Linux operating system, other distributions, some anonymous browsers, most used today, most probably some antivirus tools you could use. As you know, antivirus is the best way to clean up viruses is when you boot from carrier. A lot of very nice system tools, which I strongly suggest you could boot up and use for tweaking and setup and cleanup and rescue and so on and so forth. Many of these, including Kali Linux, as you see. And once again, I would leave you guys to go and check it. And also you could see that you might use Windows for Windows 11, Windows 10 installer, and some other one. All right. So, but basically, if you start the other versions of YUMI, you might see actually slightly different menus here. So I strongly suggest you guys try all of them, and if you're interested, of course, and try and find out, try to download and to use them. Well, this one is a good one. Let's try it and see if that would be Well, the last time I used it, it was showing me that there is a virus here. Let's see if it will be again. It will be again as a virus. I guess that would be the one. If it will be shown as a virus. So let's see. Well, I'm gonna leave it to download and I will demonstrate it after. Okay, so let's try to use this one now. I'm not gonna put it on my real computer because then creating the videos will be tough. I'm gonna close this for now, YUMI. And what I'll do on my virtual machines, I'll start one virtual machine with it. Actually, that's doesn't matter which one I'm gonna choose. Let's say Kali, it's the first one. I could come here and what I could do, I could actually say here in the boot menu in the system, I could say from what to boot. As a matter of fact, I could start from a CD and so on and so forth. So what we could do, actually, we could choose floppy here and we could put it on the top. And afterwards, what we could do next will be to say USB, right? Now, my USB at the moment is connected. My USB at the moment is connected here to my file system, which is on my real computer, on my host, right? So what I could do, actually, I could click plus and I could choose it, right? So I see it is called SanDisk, and basically that would be this one. It will be this one, okay? So I could try now is to actually boot from it this way. So I could say start, and let's see if it will boot in this way. So it didn't went as I expect. Let's try to do something else. So let's create a new, and I'm gonna call it bootable. It mostly will be, I'm not gonna choose a ISO image. Unattended, there will be no hardware. What I could do here, I could choose a processor one, that's good, and for this one I could choose, let's say, 2048 gigabyte. And the hard drive will say do not add a virtual hard disk. That's what I will say. Say finish. Actually I'm gonna move it out of here. So here it is. And I'm gonna do some additional setups here. So in the system, that's good, floppy, that's fine. I'll say actually all of this to be on. Then I'll go to the USB again. And I'll choose 3. That's USB 3 indeed. So I'm gonna say here, yeah, that's the one. I'm gonna say OK, and I'll try again to start. So here it is. I was able to boot it this way. Basically, I missed the fact that it is a EFI. It has been created as a EFI boot. So I just added here in the machine and settings. If you go and check, I added here the UEFI option to the systems. Here it is. I added it. As you see, enable EFI special OSes, but it is special. So now when I start, and once again the settings here on the system, it starts from the floppy. Well, it's not very important if the floppy will be there. Most important is the USB. And I got and I just checked it, and it shows, as you see. If I go, well, it doesn't. You don't see it at the moment, but before this, it was showing here a partition which was an EFI partition. So that's why it didn't boot the first time. But now that's, well, it won't look in your computer because that's a virtual environment, obviously, but it will look something similar, and that's how it starts. You just click on the top, you click enter, and now you could choose and start some of these options. Let's try faucet pop. There are a couple of modes here. I would say in normal mode to boot, and it will start. And now I could choose FOSSA. I could say RAM only, and it will use only my RAM memory, and actually it will start the FOSSA pop after this. Okay, let's see how it will start. It's in emulated environment, but once again it will work without any problems, I guess. So let's try to do this a little bit smaller maybe, so to be sure to see everything, or at least most of it. And as you see, FOSSA pop is there. You might do some additional settings, so to configure the network and so on and so forth. So let's configure the network automatically. These are really, it's a really easy to use operating system actually. I could say simple network setup. I'll choose my virtual drive here, that's the one, and if it finds a way, and it's my drive is actually using NAT network, so I don't see a reason do not be able to access it. Yeah, here it is, successful connection. I would say like that, set as default. Okay, all of these things are showing you. I could actually go through the setup and even fix my to see it in a full screen here. It's the same way I could actually go and do stuff here. So I could say graphic screen and the screen resolution. Maybe I would say something smaller, maybe. Let's see. And as you see now, it's maybe a little bit better. I could try again. It's a little bit better. And if I would like to go and start basically go and start using internet, well, you see it's say it has conky here automatically done. I could go and open the browser, and I could basically start using Puppy. You know, I mean, it's a cool thing. If you have multiple screens, of course you might go and do them. I'll say no for that, and I could basically go and check. Let's say google.com. Here it is, and I'm there. Okay, so see how it is easy basically to start an operating system from multi-boot using the YUMI multi-boot creator. So I'm gonna say exit, I'm gonna say shut down, and even if I want to, I could actually start okay for that. I don't want to save any of these changes because it's starting, this particular version stays in the RAM. If you want to save something for persistence, so the next time it starts to be there, well, it's possible to do this with this option. So I'm going to start it again. And I'm going to try now to boot the Ubuntu as well. You just guys to have an idea how all of these are working. Here it is starting. I'm gonna move it on that side, and here it is again. I'll click enter. I'm gonna go and start Ubuntu this time. It says in normal mode, file checksum. Well, I'm gonna say normal mode. Yeah, we're just gonna start with the boot without persistence. I'm gonna start. I don't want to install anything for now. I just want to start it as a and it says try or install. I'm gonna try it, obviously, the Linux server. So So here it is, it's starting my Linux server here. And the same way I could start the Windows, right? If I would have installed Windows, I might start it as well. So let's try to make this smaller a little bit again, like before. It's a completely normal boot of operating system, Linux operating system in that case. And now I have the initial screen. I could say done. I could basically see what else is saying here. Ubuntu server only, done. And basically it might find out, here it is, it's finding out an IP address. So I'm going to say done. And that would be about the proxy. I don't want a proxy. Now it will ask me if I want to, this will be the addresses where it will take and install it from. Now it's asking me how I want to install it. So in that case it will be installed. I don't want LVM. Say done. And now it will ask me where I want to install it. Well, in that case I don't want to be installed there. Right? I could say, and I could choose another option, but basically you see how you could use YUMI in that case for installing something if you want to, right? So you could go to, if I would have in my case, I remember I said that there is no hard drive, so I don't have choice here, but I could always add, I could stop it at the hard drive and afterwards install this on the hard drive and have after this healthy server Ubuntu operating system. So that's how the YUMI works in general, and also we were able to cover how you could start the multi-bootable disk created with YUMI to start it on the VirtualBox. The major prerequisite for that is to be UEFI, right? So with all of this, I wish you a pleasant day and all the best.